Ag Day is brought to you by Helena. The Innovation Never Stops series celebrates the science, passion, and progress happening every day at Helena.
Friday saw cattle and grains all back in the green. What could we see this week? Ag Day's Michelle Rook has a preview in Markets Now.
Grains and cattle futures to the plus side on Friday. Jim McCormick with agmarket.net is joining us with analysis. So a pretty solid day last Friday in the grain trade, Jim. Was that these strong export numbers that we saw on a weekly basis, or was this weather?
It was a combination of both, Michelle, but you pointed out right there, it was that export number for corn. I think it was the biggest export number that we'd seen since 2021, I believe, when China came into the market. It was way above the expectation of what the trade is thinking. And this shows you when we had that bearish report there on the January WASDE number, the price broke, but the world importers have continued to buy our grain and they aggressively bought that dip, which is a good sign for the demand for the U.S. product. Weather was the next thing going on. We are actually hearing, interesting enough, some of the ethanol plants were actually backing down their grind pace, and a few were actually shutting down. And you might ask why, folks, and the reason they were doing that is the price of nat gas has spiked to such high premiums, it made more sense economically to slow the plant down or shut it down and sell that natural gas onto the open market. They continue to grind corn.
Can we build on this, and what will it take to build on it?
Well, we saw a little bit of a baby step of the corn. We got that corn market through that 424, 425 level. The critical level is going to be that 435 shelf that we caught, there through the latter portion of December. I think that is where you're going to see a lot of producers really get engaged in marketing grain. And if you get through that 435, another dime to 10, 15 cents higher will be the next level of resistance. The beans, they're hanging right up against that 200-day moving average. If they can get through that 200-day moving average, then you make a push back up toward that 1082. I don't know, Michelle, if we're going to be able to get much above that, because the reality is we've got a monster crop coming out of Brazil and we are not price competitive.
Cattle market ended higher, pushed by some higher cash trade, and with kind of a neutral cattle on feed report. Do you think we'll just keep going here?
Right now, it does feel like it's the bulls are in control of the cattle market, but I'm telling producers out there, be a little bit wary. The old axiom in the cattle market is you get two chances to sell it. This could be our second time to sell it. It's the same story. Supply is very tight. The question is, when does the demand drop off? So far, the demand's hung in there.
Thanks. That is Jim McCormick with agmarket.net and Markets Now.